streaming on I95 northbound. We got some action here. Well, looks like the typical wipeout. Kind of hell-bent for leather, but that wreck there slowed everybody down a little bit. So that's pretty good. Keeps the expectations in check. Could be a rough go out here. Supercharged 7%. Don't normally run down that low. But anyway, here comes a boy racer and what the hell are these things? Oh, it's a Dodge Challenger Charger. See a boy racer like that, you get about 10 cars that are up his ass following him, but today is definitely different. Not a lot of vehicles out. Got a little bit of weather around. There's some cumulonimbus clouds building up off to the west and the north. We do have some thunderstorms forecast for tomorrow, but it looks like they're going to be today. So we'll see how that rolls when we get a little further north. Looks like we're definitely going to get into some rain showers at the minimum. So we'll see what happens. I am eating some battery right now. I'm showing arriving with 6%. That's not good. Yeah, I definitely don't like getting that low. But you know what we'll do? I'll do a little battery saving measures right now. I'm gonna cut the AC off. Oh yeah, baby. I'm gonna live dangerously with the AC off. Save me a percentage point or two. We'll see how that goes. Try not to go any faster than 79, preferably slower. We'll see what happens. So there is, I don't know if you can see it, world in a truck that's going slow. Love it. Loving it. Faster than I wanted to there. Full self-driving in the Tesla, but it'll be slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. The only good thing about it is the car's doing it and you're not. So that's nice when you don't have to worry about it or think about it for that matter. Well, my big concern is arriving with more than 5% battery when I get to the supercharger, which is coming up in 12 miles, 11 miles. shit. Yeah. If you engage the autopilot too soon, it likes to rip you back into the lane you were just in, but that was my fault. My bad. Let me see. Oh, I gotcha. Oh, it struck me out. Well, okay, love it. Yeah, I didn't want to get caught behind that tow truck, so I jumped on it. Looks like the guy in the car in the left lane got a little weirded by it too, because he punched it. Shenanigans are gonna run me out of battery. lot of shitheads out here, as you can see. That guy's used every lane in the last half mile.
In 1 mile, take exit 1 on the onto Florida 76 towards Stewart, Indiantown.
But honestly, I'm better off taking US 1 all the way home as opposed to this garbage out here. This is kind of a mildly controlled chaos. But it'll be stop and go all the way back. And it's, what is it, 3:30? Not even near rush hour. But it'll progressively decay until there's no longer a chance of it being normal. Now we're doing 53. Almost to the charger. Almost there.
Now take exit 101 on the right. In 1,000 feet, keep right toward Hutchinson Island. Now keep right toward Hutchinson Island.
Nice old Ford truck in front of us. You don't normally see those down here. Looks well taken care of. The intersection blocked up ahead. Yeah, that's real smooth. Yeah, some real jack-offs driving cars lately.
In 500 feet, turn left onto Southwest Lost River Road. Now turn left onto Southwest Lost River Road.
Alright, we're going to go in and do a little supercharge. Superchargy charge. See how that works out. Right now it looks like there's 17 open stalls, so that's pretty much empty. This is a newer supercharger. Nice upgraded chargers. Tesla does a good job with all that stuff. Forced herself into that position. Yeah, this intersection you want to wait for the arrow. super long. Finally got it.
In 500 feet, turn right. Now turn right. Now destination is on the left.
Well, she's taking a pretty good charge right now. Really not a lot of people here. It's at a Cracker Barrel. Skies are looking pretty ominous. Haven't seen that in a while down here. Need the rain though. Looks like I've got 74 miles to get home. I'm gonna just take enough juice to get back home so I can plug in at the house. Well, I'll take enough to get home plus about 15% over, just in case. Water. Need that. Take an inventory of my junk in the car. See what's what, what's where. Yeah, looks like we might get a little thunder boomer here. pull up the radar. Just kind of see what we got on the way home. And it looks like the vast majority of it has moved offshore already, at least up north. But using the old Mark I eyeball, I can see that the sky looks kind of threatening. So who knows? Put my stuff away. Oh boy. See if I can connect the iPad. Well, let's see what we got here. Looks like I might need to take a little more juice. Bump that instead of 50%. Let's go 7. So here's where we're at. Charging at Stewart, Southwest Lost River Road. And you can see the stats right there. You can see how much it's costing me at the moment. And I'm going to need to take at least another 20%. Just to feel comfy. I could take less, but it'll be up around $8-9 when I get done. But that's not horrific considering I charged once earlier coming up in Vero, but that was at 29 cents a kilowatt hour. Right now it's 35 cents a kilowatt hour. So it's always nice when you can get the cheaper charges, but anyhow, let me put this back up here. Take a look around outside at the Cracker Barrel. This view is actually to the northwest right now. I've technically got enough to make it home, but I'll have 1% energy when I arrive. So that's not cool. We don't want to do that. No reason to screw around. But the other thing too is you don't want to take I've got a 2023 Model Y, and it's got some normal battery degradation, but taking full charges is not something I want to do at my car's stage in life. Max charge I usually throw in it is about 80%. Where often I'll just do 60, 70% as tops. And you know, if you're driving around town all day, you really don't need much more than that. But let me see what's going on as far as some entertainment is concerned.
The movie producer who made the movie The Island.
That's interesting. Can't figure it out. Try it again. Alright, so I've got enough to continue right now. And I'm at $10.38. It's almost 30 kilowatt hours worth of energy. But at 50, let me see where I'm at when I get home. 15%, that's plenty. I'm just going to go over to charging, and I'm going to hit stop charging. Boom. Charging, stop. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back on the road. Let's see one more time if I can connect a device. So it'd be nice to get the iPad up and running. There it is. Let's connect. There we go. Finally. Okay. Now we're in.
Said also before I saw it or anything like that, he took me into side rooms, and you know, another weird thing is I never saw Epstein go in the water. I never saw him swim or go in the sea or swim in his pools. You know, he had all these like beautiful swimming pools and the island and the water.
Now turn left onto Southwest Lost River Road.
But he used to go shower after he took me in the room, and I always thought, well, maybe it's because he thought I was like dirty and horrible or something, I don't know.
In 500 feet, turn right onto Southwest Canner Highway.
I think 2 times, it might have been 3, but that's because I think they took me to the island, they took me to
Now turn right onto Southwest Canner Highway.
New York, Paris. So,
You've already talked about drugging, and now it's confirmed. He sent you all these emails.
In 500 feet, turn right to take the Interstate 95 North ramp. Now turn right to take the Interstate 95 North ramp.
I mean, unless they've got drugs that are like so weird that you don't really know you've been drugged. Because, you know, I've had my drinks spiked after that. Like, you know, I was taken to LA. I've had, you know, but the thing is, I'm not sure, like, what they're capable of. But the thing is, I do know that very weird things happen, and I do know that they took my eggs, and I do know that they're all going to die for it one by one.
So when you say they took your eggs, was that during the medical experiment?
Yes. Well, you know, Epstein gave me a pelvic exam before I was sent home from there. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff that went on. I used to have a lot of nightmares after I got back. You know, I was hospitalized 10 times with panic attacks. I used to see like apparatus on top of me, and I'd have panic attacks, and I know that those bastards do more to me, and that's why I'm not going to stop until they get caught one by one.
Do you think maybe Epstein was just like this might have been like an alien base or something? I mean, who knows now? It's just like...
Well, Alex, what I'm even starting to wonder is maybe Epstein was a clone. Like, if they can clone people, they could have created, like, his penis was like this big. Let me just put my finger here to show you.
Show it. Yeah, they say, the way they know women told the truth before is it's to form like an egg, right?
So let me just find where my camera is. It was like this big. It was very, very small. So, I mean, he did obviously try sexually abuse me, and he did sexually abuse me, of course. He also used to try to teach me how to give a blowjob. He said I must lick it like a lollipop. Sorry, that's so horrible. Sorry.
Don't feel bad. It's all right. We're all adults here. We're getting over this. Don't feel ashamed.
But,
That's the way I've been saying is he had deformed penis like a small egg. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it was a very small penis, and he what he was mainly trying to do was trying to force orgasms from me. So someone even said maybe he was doing sex magic, because he had I'd never even had an orgasm before I was taken there. You know, I was young. I'd only ever had 2 boyfriends before that. And anyway, so yeah, he was like trying to force orgasms, and it was very weird. And that's also what led me to believe that you know, the egg thing. And also, before I was sent home from New Mexico, he gave me like a pelvic exam and you know, felt my insides and my stomach in a very weird way. And yeah, it's you know, obviously when I came back from there I was shattered, and I just realized that it was just better to be friendly to them because I was petrified. But then when everything started coming out and I was awarded the settlement money, it gave me time to step off the hamster wheel of life and to do more research and find out what they'd really been doing. And you know, the more I looked into it, the darker it got. And then I realized I had to start sharing everything with others.
Well, you've done a great job doing that. Have you seen how the head of the WF had to resign for setting up a secret world government with Epstein? He was on the Trilateral Commission board.
There is an order. Sorry, Alex. I don't understand that, but it's an order. I don't believe that, because I never saw an order, and that doesn't even look like a copy. I think that's a fake photo that you did. I mean,
Looks like a guy. But my point is that.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
My point is that he was
when
way
I saw
more.
that photo, I was like, hey, there he is in order. Sorry.
I'm saying he was way more powerful than I even thought. Like he was David
Well, you know,
Rockefeller.
water's magical.
It
You know,
is.
like Jesus turned water into wine, Moses parted the seas. Water's magical. Control the water, control the people.
Well, the thing is, witches can't get in the water, yeah. But the point is that
witches. So when they burnt
well, they melt, yeah. But the point is, it's the archetypal metaphor.
Sorry, another
What I'm saying is, do you know it's come out that he was really the head of the Trilateral Commission?
Oh, the head of what, Alex?
It turns out he was basically the head of the Trilateral Commission. He was David Rockefeller's stand-in in the documents now.
Oh, yes. Well, of course. You know, and that's another, it's weird, because even a girl I know who married a Rockefeller wanted to do a documentary with me recently. But, you know, I've learned to just stay away from people who are involved in these circles. You know, because, yes,
So how powerful was Epstein from what you know? Because I thought he was like a super gopher. Now we're learning, as Rockefeller got old and stuff, he kind of took charge of the U.S. arm of the Rothschilds. He sent out a Rothschild, the representative. They now admit he was like the representative. So how did this guy get chosen to do this at age 30 by Bill Barr?
yeah, exactly. And he was born in Coney Island. Like, you know, how is he actually involved? It's very peculiar. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, that amazing man, Eric Weinstein, made an interview saying that Epstein was a construct. And I think that's something very important to look into, a construct. What does a construct mean?
It's basically a public image, but he said, or he himself can be a construct, meaning he's like, what it means is not real. Not authentic.
So, yeah, we've all been lied to, you know, like they cloned Dolly the sheep in 1996. 1 year later, Bill Clinton, who I met Epstein with, banned federal funds being used for human cloning. That doesn't mean that human cloning was banned. It means that federal funds weren't being allowed to use for it, so people could do it privately. There were also amazing people on 60 Minutes or BBC, I can't remember, who did interviews about human cloning. You know, there's also that man Rael, that dodgy man who was
Out of France, yeah, so in South Korea. So you're saying, are you implying you think Epstein was like a clone?
Well, I don't know, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Well, he was obsessed with cloning. I first broke it like 18 years ago, and all sorts of buying babies before their term, like Nygaard draining their blood. Did you ever hear anything about that?
No, you know, obviously all these years later, I've realized that how dark it goes. I didn't see anything like that, and like I said, if I did, I would have literally gone and killed them myself. I would have risked my life, you know, to protect children, because that's what I believe in, is goodness. You know, a lot of it was hidden from me. I was very much taken there and used. But, you know, sometimes I wonder if Epstein almost planted things in a way so that this could all be exposed. Like, you know, I've got photographs from there because there were disposable cameras left in the kitchen. And, you know, I didn't have a camera. I couldn't afford a camera. But because I took these disposable cameras and took some photos just so I could show my mum where I'd been and everything, I've got photos and I've got evidence. And, you know, I wish I knew more, but I think that's, you know, what we're all coming together to do is we all speak together and we put the pieces of the puzzle together. I mean, I do know that these people are incredibly evil. I know that they've lied, much like the DOJ with the emails. They've lied about everything. And I just think that, you know, we have great strength in numbers, and these people have positions of power need to be. We need people in power because it's too much having people hurt like this.
No, I totally agree, but here's the deal. Everybody's listening to this, and Trump says we control time and space. You see all the stuff going on in the sky. You see all the super science. You see thousands of emails about sex slaves and babies we're buying. I mean, everybody focuses on grape soda and pizza. It's obvious codes, but there's most of this isn't even codes. So when you get down to this is all coming out. It is totally wild. It's like a coming of age for everybody and a vindication for you because you're all over the emails now they've released. At least you say you weren't even involved. Is it far-fetched?
I'm all into codes. What about the codex? Sorry, you know, Bill Gates bought the codex for like $34 million in the 90s. That was Da Vinci's work. Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, no, he bought that, yeah.
Yeah, so the answer to the
about Codex Alimentarius.
No, I'm all into codes. And I live backwards is evil, live backwards is devil.
Sure, so what did you think of black that they've now imagined enslaving humanity? It's been decoded by AI decoded it. 3 different AIs decoded it. It is the code to enslave and destroy humanity as payment to aliens to give the priests that do it entree to go to the next level.
You mean the board behind him when he wrote his name incorrectly? Well, it's quite clear that it's a big lie, you know. But as far as like aliens, demons, angels, whatever, you know, I believe in goodness, and I do believe that there are good energies out there that are here to help us. I know that there are because I believe in angels and good energy. And unfortunately, things in the world have been very much controlled by a demon energy for a long time, it seems. And I just think that the more of us that wake up and start spreading more information to wake people up, you know.
No, that's where I was going exactly. As negative as discovering this is, no one can deny we're in the age of discovery and revelation now. Clearly the tide's turning. Do you agree with that?
Yes. There's always dark. It's always darkest before the dawn. It's one of my favorite songs by Florence and the Machines. You know, shake the devil, shake it off, sorry. And I just really do believe that times of good are coming. Like we were saying earlier, you get night and day in short cycles. You also get night and day in long cycles. Much like they burnt all the witches in 1430, then Bonfire of the Vanities, they burnt a lot of books. They burnt a lot of our history. 1600s, you had the Medici family running things, you know, Donatello and Raphael, Michelangelo, you know, all
45 ago,
these guys,
no real rhyme or
keeping life about
balling up.
Released by you. It's overhead record. To find your ex account really run very, very important.
Smart ones who
You know, to get
2002. He said to me something bad will come in 2020. Like he said in about 20 years something bad is coming, and the best thing you can do is keep physically strong. So I thought, okay, it must be a tidal wave or something, and I've got to be strong. So I could swim away. I didn't realize that he was talking about the virus, but basically he very much told me about the virus that they were going to be putting out on people. And also the virus is very much the mind in a way. You know, it's like the cell disease that Nostradamus predicted long ago. You know, where a lot of us are on cell phones, and you know, the thing is to just realize that we've been lied to, and just look after your families and do the right thing. Be good people, because things are about to change a lot, and goodness is coming. You
I
know,
totally agree. We're out of time. The War Room's coming up now with Harrison Smith. Remember, the only way we're on the air is your support. TheAlexSonStore.com. Juliette Bryant on X, Instagram, Juliette Bryant. God bless you. Let's talk again very soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Say my love to Harrison. He's so cool. Love you guys.
Harrison's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you
Whole
so
crew's
much.
great. All right, great job of the crew. Huge 4-hour broadcast. Wow. Over the top powerful. Now it's up to all of you to share those links. Balls in your court, folks. God bless you. We're engaged in world-changing information here. And now our credibility is higher than ever, but it takes funds to operate. So it's a win-win. I sell you supplements, super nutrient compounds that are the certified best, strongest, highest rated, most loved, totally tested products at thealexshowstore.com. And we have a massive sale. Alert, alert, alert. I'm saying this live on air Thursday, February 26th. And that means you have until midnight Monday, March 2nd, to get our incredible, highest quality, concentrated creatine, private label, the top brand in the country. So good for your whole body, so good for your brain, good for everything. And you get a free bottle of Irish sea moss gummies and our high quality shillings. You get either or. You choose. Absolutely free. T-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, hats, you name it. I want classic Americana stuff. I want pro-Trump stuff. I want InfoWars stuff. I want comedy stuff. Christian, Crusader, pro-life, pro-Jesus, classic 1776 stuff, quality Leering Center, joke stuff, classic InfoWars gear. It's all there. I mean, just cool. I love them. I mean, it's a resistance to God Punisher shirts. I mean, there are some kick-ass stuff there. Look at that one, American Supply Co. I designed that bad baby. America established 1776 Supply Company. Woo! I like it. TheAlexJonesStore.com.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Howard Lutnick, currently serving as the 41st United States Secretary of Commerce, in 1983, rapidly to become president and CEO at age 29, establishing himself as a prominent Wall Street figure for over 3 decades, rebuilding Cantor Fitzgerald after the devastating loss of 658 employees. His brother, September 11th.
So we are in number 11, and he lives in number 9.
The head of Cantor Fitzgerald, Harold Lutnick, just happened to be out of the office that day that the terrorists struck.
When I was talking to Cantor Fitzgerald brokers and bankers in the days leading up to 9/11, they themselves were buying these airline puts. They told me, based on rumors that were coming out of Alex Brown, associated with Buzzy Krongard. So this looks to me as if CIA insiders knew enough about what was going on, but chose to make money rather than blowing the whistle.
He literally watched the plane go into the building, go into the World Trade Center. It was delayed because his wife insisted that he finally, after years, take his child to school.
Recently, taking the economic wheel on the Trump administration's second term, Lutnick publicly championed and defended the tariffs as essential for national security and economic rebalancing, dismissing concerns about their legality or economic fallout, calling worries about Supreme Court invalidation silly.
In the very unlikely event that you're wrong, what is the contingency plan? You'd have to refund these tariffs? How the hell does that work?
You know, to think about silly things is a waste of time.
The mechanism offered companies an upfront payment of 20 to 30% of the duties paid in exchange for assigning their legal claim to any refund, effectively a litigation finance bet that the tariffs would be ruled unlawful, triggering government repayments of potentially hundreds of billions in collected duties, 175 billion at last count. Many have been quick to debunk the possibility of Lutnick scamming the United States. It is all based on a 2025 Wired magazine article that claimed the firm had already completed a $10 billion deal in refund rights. The claim remains a he said, she said between media reports and company denials. Regardless, Lutnick's myriad of Epstein connections is raining down like meteors from the sky.
We rebuild our house. We move in 2005. Okay? Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 08, I think, or something like that. Right. So, knock on the door. His assistant, on like a Saturday, says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee.
Nick, I think you understand the root of concern here. It's the way you described very emphatically your first encounter with him in his apartment, said you were disgusted, would never have any contact with him again.
My wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Did you in fact make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat on a family vacation. So Jeffrey was on tour that 2012. I don't recall why we did it.
Lutnick is referencing a supposed incident to Epstein Island, referenced in an Epstein email that reveals creepy details about the ages of the children, a constant red flag in the Epstein emails. This is followed up 3 years later with an invite to Jeffrey Epstein to an intimate event for Hillary Clinton at Cantor Fitzgerald from Lutnick, followed by another email years later thanking Epstein for a donation in honor of Howard Lutnick.
Yeah. That's my story. A one and absolutely done.
This isn't a Trump issue. This is a reminder that the 41st United States Secretary of Commerce works for us, we the people.
Selection of Patriot apparel and some of the best designs. I set out with our sponsor, said, what do you want? I said, with a wide selection of t-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, hats, you name it. I want classic Americana stuff, I want pro-Trump stuff, I want InfoWars stuff, I want comedy stuff, Christian, Crusader, pro-life, pro-Jesus, classic 1776 stuff, quality, lyric center, joke stuff, classic InfoWars gear. Black
away,
as soon as you can. And until then, I think the big news of the day so far has been the Bill Clinton deposition going on up in Chickasaw. And just on the heels of that report we did with Howard Lutnick, let's go to this first file. This is Trump. It's a short, very short clip. I think this is Trump on his way on Air Force One or Air Force Two to get to Air Force One. He's taking off, I think, to come to Texas. So they asked him because yesterday, or the day before yesterday, there's a new picture of Howard Lutnick on the island. And Lutnick said he only went there one time, but now we have this picture here. I'll show you that one right there. That's old Lutnick. I don't know. I think he's got a little bit of explaining to do. He's not going to be able to laugh this one off. I don't see his family, and I don't see a sailboat anywhere. Because he said he was on vacation with his family. Yeah, I don't see much of a family around there. It seems like a bunch of dudes hanging out, probably talking about scoring chicks on the island. Young ladies even. Young girls even. So let's go. This is Trump on Lutnick, clip 6.
Well, Howard would go in and do whatever he has to say. He's a very innocent guy. He's doing a good job.
Well, Lutnick probably told him, Mr. President, I had nothing to do with this. I don't know. We just live next door to each other. I don't know how this happened. Suddenly I slipped and I'm on the island. Oy vey. Representative Luna came out today and said, based on the testimony today, that she thinks Epstein was running intelligence gathering operations, and that's why they targeted Bill Clinton and other people like that, so they could, because that's, he was brokering in information, is what Epstein seemed to be brokering in anything. He was like, I think someone said he was like a storefront. You want some women, you want some eggs, you want, an aborted baby injected into you, you want a clone, you want some guns, you want to come to the island. See, it's all there. He's like kind of a jack of all trades. You want to take your money and make more money with it? That's kind of what Epstein was. So here's a clip.
There's the license plate on that car.
Lines of questioning that Jeffrey Epstein was running a intelligence gathering operation. In my professional opinion, I do believe it was a honeypot operation, and I do believe that there was a list of individuals who did engage in trafficking or given these plea deals, and I'm going to name those individuals right now. The first one would be Leslie Roth. The second one, Sarah Kellen. The third one, Nadia Markova. And the fourth one, Adriana Ross. All of these women engaged in the trafficking of minors as adults. They were working and complicit with Jeffrey Epstein's operation. And in my opinion, they are not to be given victim status because they did partake in harming young girls. I remember seeing in some of the files that some of these girls were, as young as 10, 11 years old and older. And so obviously we have a lot of work to do, but I did want to come and give an update and
And I believe Nadia Markova was a pilot for Epstein. I believe that was her name. We did a report on this in the end of 2019, just after Epstein had been killed. Of course, we released with the false flags, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. And then we had a guy come in here who was a whistleblower. I guess he was a whistleblower. He had some insider information. We didn't put him on cameras, but he had a lot of good information. And what it was centered around was the way they would shop for these girls. They had them dress up. Remember, there was these Amazon buys that Epstein was making where he's getting a lot of uniforms, and it looked like, these skirts. And I'm like, I don't recognize that. That was from our report back in 2019 where they had girls dressed up as flight attendants, and they're doing stuff like this, and they're standing there. And it was really bad videos, like put together. It looked like by amateurs, but it would make sense. Is that the same one? See, it's the one on the right there. I think she's the one that we did a lot on, because that was the flight, the flight networks were still up and running. Yeah, Markova. Yeah, there it is. So you can find that on video if you go in and you type in Epstein flight network still in operation, something like that. You can find that. It's an over-hour report talking about all this information we had on her and others. She seemed to be a victim when she was younger, but then she stayed on, probably because it was good money to fly people, recruit girls and whatnot. Let's go to Comer now. This is Comer, how Bill Clinton testified under oath, and that he said Donald Trump was not involved. But now we got Clinton exonerating him. We have the FBI exonerating him. But will this stop the people that want this to be about Trump? Probably clip 3.
President Clinton said, "That's for you to decide." And the president went on to say that the president, Trump, has never said anything to me to make me think he was involved.
1 mile, 1 feet on Road 14.
Let the Democrats. But we'll.
Yeah, they had the Democrats coming on. The Democrats like, we want Trump to come testify. We want him. So they're not going to be happy until they get him in the chair, even though, you know, they've gone after him left and right with things. You know, indicting him supposedly with the top secret files, even though he's the president. He can, at the time, he was the president. Didn't do anything about Joe Biden, though. That was okay. But now we have this exclusive video leaked of Bill Clinton's Jeffrey Epstein congressional testimony. This dropped earlier today. This is a pretty amazing video. So join me in looking at this exclusive video here. Bill seems to have developed a bit of a mustache in this, but he's going to read his official statement. This is the official statement on video. Here it is.
The second reason I'm here, the girls I was unable to rape, but I'm sorry they were able to escape. But the children I ate were delicious. Sorry, he had said that. He had said this. The second reason I'm here is for the cocaine. I know young guys got a lot of it. Hunter might be here later. Stop it, Jones. I love David Rockefeller. I love Bill Gates. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, buddy boy. Oh, this is better than a Big Mac. Let me get back to this work I'm doing here real quick. The second reason I'm here is that the girls and women whose lives Jeffrey Epstein destroyed deserve not only justice but healing. They've been waiting for too long to both. Though my brief acquaintance with Epstein in thousands of meetings, through my brief acquaintance where I met him once and shook his hand at a train station, through my brief acquaintance with the Epsteins ended years before its crimes came to light. Though the Democratic Party fought to cover him up so well, we failed. And though I never witnessed during our limited interactions at the secret island or the hundreds of meetings and all of the planes and flying around the world with other known pedophiles with him, I'm just adding the truth there. Back to the real thing. Through my brief acquaintance with Epstein ended years before his crimes came to light, and though I never witnessed during our limited interactions an indication of what was truly going on, you made Hillary come in. She had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing. Sure, she goes to witches' conferences and guzzles adrenochrome, but that's all right. Sorry. But before we start, I have to get personal. You made Hillary come in. She had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing. I did not have sex with that woman either, or give missile secrets to China, though I did. Since I'm under oath, I will not falsely state that I am looking forward to your questions, but I am ready to answer them to the best of my abilities, consistent with the facts as I know them, the legitimate, logical, and even the outlandish. With that, Mr. Chairman, fire away. And please, do any of you have any cocaine or adrenochrome? Thank you.
And that was just the sizzler. This is the full statement right now, exclusive to Infowars.com.
Bill Clinton just put out his opening statement to Congress. Again, closed door, but allowing reporters in. Stand by Bill Clinton. That is exactly what you would expect. I did not have sex with that woman. I don't know even who she is. This is ridiculous, okay? I don't even know what cocaine is. I have no idea what you're talking about. Never been to that island. I don't know that guy. That's crazy, you know. Bill Clinton just dropped his opening statement to Congress on Epstein. I saw nothing and I did nothing wrong. These are quotes. I had no idea of the crimes Epstein was committing. By the time he was 2008 guilty plea came to light, I had long stopped associating with him. It's not true. They sent the Clinton Foundation. I mean, right after that, she was at the wedding of Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm not bound by my oath to speculate or guess 24 years later. Defense Hillary, quote, she had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, never visited any of his properties. Like, I did his island, oh God, oh boy. Good night, nurse. I didn't say that. He didn't say, she had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, never visited any of his properties. This swearing under oath that he knew Zillick and cut ties early, now that's a shocker. So, here's the full statement. You mean to read this in Clinton's voice? President Clinton's opening statement to the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Good morning, welcome. It's Chappaqua. Yeah, they went to him, just like with Les Wexner. I'm here today for two reasons. The first is I love my country. And America was built upon the idea that no person is above the law, even presidents, especially presidents. Yeah, their whole new spin is, I want Trump now to be before the committee. Democracy requires every person to play their part. By being here today, we can bring ourselves a little further away from the brink and back to being a country where we can disagree with one another civilly. While my sir is burn down the country, you try to tell your son's penis. Sorry, he didn't say this. Democracy requires we put fentanyl on the streets and fluoride in your water. Yeah, David Rockefeller living. Sorry, back to what he said. Democracy requires every. Sorry, back to his voice. Democracy requires every person to play their part. And I hope that shipping drugs into Mean, Arkansas and killing all those kids was a good thing. I'm gonna love Satan, no hell Satan. Sorry, yeah, I'm actually really saying. Democracy requires every person to play their part. And I hope by being here today, we can bring ourselves a little further away from the brink and back to being a country where we can disagree with one another civilly, where the search for truth and justice outweighs the partisan urge to score points and create a spectacle. I'll do my part, and I hope you'll do yours. Oh, yeah, while my sir gets burned everything down and literally say white people are evil and America must die. Yeah, and our emails and WikiLeaks say we're going to create a race war. Oh, we love you. Oh, we're liberal. Oh, God. The second reason I'm here, girls and women's lives Jeffrey Epstein destroyed deserve not only justice but healing. Oh, you mean to try to get right in there? Okay.
In 1 mile, take exit 147 on the right toward Vero Beach.
Epstein ended years before. Here we go. The second reason I'm here is that the girls and women I was unready are they able to escape. The children I ate were delicious. Sorry, he didn't say that. He didn't say this. The second reason I'm here is for the cocaine. I know young God's got a lot of it. I heard Hunter might be here later. Sorry. This is actually him. Stop it, Jones. Got a little cocaine booger up there. Taste you. Good for you. I love David Rockefeller. I love Bill Gates. Oh, baby.
Now take exit 147 on the right.
Yeah. Oh, buddy boy. Oh,
in 1,000 feet, keep right toward Vero Beach.
I'm doing here real quick. The second reason I'm here is that the girls and women
now keep right toward Vero Beach.
Destroyed deserve not only justice but healing. They've been waiting for 2 months to shake his hand at a train station. I'm sorry. Through my brief acquaintance with the Epsteins ended years before its crime came to light. Though the Democratic Party fought to cover him up so well, we failed. During our limited interactions at the secret island or the hundreds of meetings and all over the planes and flying around the world with other known pedophiles with him. Sorry. See, I'm just adding the truth here. Back to the real thing. Through my brief acquaintance with Epstein ended years before his crimes came to light, and though I never witnessed during our limited interactions an indication of what was truly going on, prevent anything like this from ever happening before. Sure. But before we start, I need a little more cocaine. But before we start, I have to get personal. See, it's like I was telling you, I'm personal, I'm a real person. You made Hillary come in. She had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. That's right, Hillary never did nothing wrong. I came, I saw, he died. But before we start, I have to get personal with my beard. Hillary, you made Hillary come in. She had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing. Sure, she goes to witches' conferences and does adrenochrome, but that's all right. Sorry. But before we start, I have to get personal. You made Hillary come in. She had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing. I did not have sex with that woman either. Or give missile secrets to China, though I did. All right, I'm stopping now. The real statement's up there. But most of this is real. I'm just making jokes about his pizza, or just really filling in the truth. She had nothing to do with Epstein. Nothing. She has no memory or even meeting him. She neither traveled with him nor visited any of his properties. Whether you subpoenaed 10 people or 10,000, including her, was simply not right. Oh my goodness, including her was not right. As you guys never had sex. Mr. Hubble had your horse-faced daughter, Mr. Ed 2.0. A beard that's gay. It's a beard that's like it's a political marriage. We began this hearing with me raising my hand.
In 1 mile, turn left onto 66th Avenue.
Everyone has responsibility to be honest with those they represent. I represent Satan, so I'm not lie to you. Whether you raise your right hand or not, each and every one of us owes nothing less. Accuracy to the American people, my sworn enemy, hell Satan. But it just goes on from there. Here's the really good part. Now let me say what you're going to hear from me. First, I had